You know, when I started music, I was in Rwanda. And my vision was to just do Kinyarwanda and music in Kinyarwanda. So when I came to the US, I didn't know how big the world was. So I said maybe I should change my vision to reach out to the whole world. But I was doing that with the wrong intention. You know, living a life without God is to fool yourself. I grew up in church, like most of you know. I sang in a choir. And they said my voice was beautiful, so I could do more with that. I went outside of the church and I started singing, and I met Meddy and I got famous. You know, sometimes when you're looking for something and you finally find it, at that time you might understand that that's not what you needed. We are running after money. Some are planning to finish their studies. Others are going to different businesses. But every time you reach the goal, you only want more. And at some point in my life, I was wondering, what am I looking for in life?
I'm making such quick cash doing this side hustle. How? I'm a dasher. Signing up was super easy.
Because everything I wanted, I was seeing it. And it was easy. I was making money easily. People say love me. You know, when you go in a big crowd, and people are singing your name, you might feel something about it. But there's also a personal life that nobody knows. Some people manage to suffocate that life and fake everything. They manage to pretend. But it really takes the grace of God to come out of that. I was in my room in Texas. I had different conferences all over the world. I even went back home. Everything was good. But suddenly something hit me out of nowhere. I just realized that everything I was looking for, I got it. But my heart was just racing all the time. People say I was romantic and because of love songs. But the craziest thing about love songs, the ones that are singing the songs, they're not automatically, they're not romantic. I had a girlfriend at the time. And she's my wife now. Our relationship was weird. Because people assume somehow I was romantic. But the truth was I was selfish. You see, in a relationship, you might say you're in love, but it only takes a little bit of frustration. You realize you're not in love. So that kind of love is fake. I don't care how much you think you love. ntarebye uko bingana kose.
It's just, it takes one person to make you mad, you know.
gusa umuntu umwe gusa kugira ngo akurakaze.
So that kind of love is centered in selfishness.
urwo rukundo rurikunda rurikururira.
So when I met my wife, I tricked her into me being a cool guy and, you know, romantic and all that.
Muye waje kuba umugore wanjye namwerekaga yuko ndi umuntu mwiza umeze neza utagoye.
She didn't even know I was famous in my country, you know.
Nari umuntu wamamaye cyane mu gihugu cyacu.
Ariko ntabwo yari azi.
She didn't
know that. So when she got to know it,
abimenye rero,
she realized it was a problem.
yasanze harimo akabazo.
You know, if you go to a concert
ugiye muri concert
and you have a wife
ufite umugore
and she sees that every girl is looking for you,
hanyuma akabona umukobwa wese niwe ashaka kwegera,
it can make you very insecure.
bishobora kumva adafite umutekano.
So we started having weird relationships, like in a way that she was supposed to be doing something, then I'm happy. If she doesn't do it, I'm not happy. We had so many fights, unnecessary fights.
Bitangira kuzamo agatotsi, akumva yakora iki kugira ngo umunezeze cyangwa se njye nkora iki munezeze, dutangira hato na hato kurwana.
In the middle of everything,
kandi kukana ariko kose,
I was getting lost.
hanyuma nabonaga byose.
I was lost.
Nari narayobye,
nari naratakaye somehow. So I was having an issue with my girlfriend at the time.
hanyuma dutangira kugira utubazo duto.
I was confused.
ndacanganyikirwa.
I didn't know where I was going with life. I didn't know where I was going with life.
nari mfite icyerekezo mu buzima.
So things started getting really, really bad.
ibintu bitangira kujya habi.
Some of the things she didn't even know.
hanyuma ibintu bimwe na bimwe ataranazi.
Because of being famous, I learned a way to keep everything for, you know, on me and for myself. Nobody knew anything about me.
kuko nari umuntu ukunzwe uri hejuru, ibintu byose nashakaga kubyishiraho no kubyikururira.
A lot of famous people, that's what they struggle with.
icyo nicyo kintu abantu bazi cyangwa se bakunzwe cyane ku isi bahura nacyo.
And narabyumvise nkiri mutoya.
I heard this while I was still young.
Kujya bibaho.
That this happens among young famous people.
But I can't ignore it.
ariko byari bitanshikira.
So that thing happened to me too.
ibyo nabyo byarashikiye rero icyo gihe.
I was in Belgium one day, in Brussels.
ndi muri Brussels, Belgium.
I had a concert.
Nafite concert.
The whole thing was packed.
isale yari yuzuye.
We had a great concert.
tugira concert nziza.
I went back in my room.
nsubiye mu cyumba cyanjye.
I never felt so empty in my life.
ntabwo nigeze numva numvise ncagase muri njyewe.
What I'm talking about, you might not relate.
ibi ngibi wenda ushobora kuba atari ibintu wumva bikwerekeye.
But I pray to God that you are convinced.
ariko ndasenga cyane kugira ngo uze kumva kubyakira.
You know, people who will go to hell,
abantu bajya kuzimu,
it's not because they didn't hear these things.
suko batumvise ibi bintu.
It's because they didn't believe it.
nuko batabyizeye.
Have you ever had a close, maybe like your mom or your father or your sister who passed away?
wari wagira umuntu mwegeranye cyane cyangwa umubyeyi, papa, mama, uvukana watambutse?
Sometimes it's not something you thought about that they would go, you know.
kenshi na kenshi n'ibintu tudatekereza yuko umunsi umwe ashobora kudukurwamo.
But when they go,
ariko iyo bagiye,
you're almost shocked.
urikanga.
So the question is like, did you think they were going to live forever?
ese wibazaga yuko bazabaho iteka?
The difference is because you just don't believe it. You don't.
nuko gusa utabyizera ko bishobora kuba.
Your heart is not convicted about those things.
umutima wawe ntabwo wizeye ko byagushikira.
Unless the reality of God is deep in your heart,
keretse gusa ukuri kw'Imana kuzuye mu mutima wawe,
you'll keep forcing these things.
uzakomeza ubyishakemo.
But you don't have to hit rock bottom for you to change your mind.
ariko ibi ntabwo bigusaba gukora ibidashobora kugira ngo ube convinced.
Some people receive it, some people don't.
hari abantu babyakira neza batabyakira.
And it's okay.
kandi ni sawa.
There's nowhere in the Bible, there's nowhere in the Bible says we will all go to heaven.
hari ijambo rivuga yuko twese tuzajya mu ijuru.
Nta jambo rivuga bityo.
There's no word that says that.
Hari iryo muzi mwebwe?
Do you know that word?
Like we will all go to heaven.
ko twese tuzajya mu ijuru.
And it's not to say that we should do this so we can go to heaven.
kandi ntabwo bisobanuye ko tugomba gukora ibyo kugira ngo tuzajya mu ijuru.
You know, we are saved so heaven can come into us.
turakizwa kugira ngo ijuru ribe muri twe.
some of us, heaven has started already.
bamwe kuri twebwe ijuru ryaratangiye.
When we take off from this place,
iyo nidukurwa muri iyi si
it will be just like a continuation.
bizaba gusa gukomerezaho.
So, some people, they say they're Christians,
hari abantu bavuga yuko ari abakristo
but they don't believe it.
ariko ntibabyizeye.
Are you surprised?
ese birabatangaje
Because every time when somebody dies,
kuko iteka ryose iyo hagize witaba
they say he went to heaven.
bavuga yuko yagiye mu ijuru.
That statement always bothered me.
iryo jambo kenshi na kenshi rirangora kuryakira.
You can't live with an assumption, you know?
ntabwo ushobora kubaho gusa wiyumvira ibintu.
You can't just assume your whole life.
ntabwo watekereza gusa ko ibi n'ibi.
And for me, I'm the kind of person that I don't settle with assumptions.
kandi nanjye ndimwe muri abo bantu bumva badashaka gusa gutekereza ibintu ko ari byo kandi atari byo.
Either I know it or I don't.
ndabizi cyangwa se ntabizi.
But I don't want to live in uncertainty, you know?
ariko sinshaka kubaho mu kutamenya.
A lot of religions,
amadini menshi
they promise heaven.
babwira abantu yuko hari ijuru bazabona ijuru.
They even tell them you have to do this.
Here's the viral hack that's making people rich. If you've been in a car accident in the past few years
And do this to go to heaven.
babwira ukore ibi n'ibi kugira ngo murage ijuru.
But there's only one person
ariko hari umuntu umwe gusa
that promised
watwijeje
that you can know you can go to heaven today.
ko uwo ubyizeye uno munsi wajya mu ijuru.
You don't have to wait to die.
ntabwo bisaba gutegereza gupfa.
I think that's better, you know?
ndatekereza ko ari byo byiza.
I'd rather believe somebody that says that they know
nakwizera cyane umuntu uzi yuko
than believe somebody who says I might or might not.
kuruta umuntu uvuga ko birashoboka cyangwa
There's
ntibyashoboka.
only one person in this whole universe
hari umuntu umwe gusa kuri uyu mubumbe
that claimed
wigeze avuga ko
I'm the way, the truth, and the life.
inzira dukuri n'ubugingo.
There's only one person.
ni umuntu umwe gusa wabivuze.
Nta n'umusazi urasana bivuge.
There's no madman that even say that.
I do a lot of readings, by the way.
ubu ndasoma cyane
Over here.
since long ago.
Yes, I wanted to know the truth about life.
nashatse kumenya ukuri k'ubuzima
Because I didn't want to be wrong, you know.
kuko numvaga nashaka kuyoba.
What's the point of having everything and have everybody applaud you, but yet you are losing?
byamara iki kugira abantu bose bagukomera amashyi ariko ukaba ntacyo ufite.
And to want to realize that at the end, you know.
kandi ibi nabyo ubona yuko ku iherezo.
I grew up loving Michael Jackson.
nakuze nkunda Michael Jackson.
When he died, I was young.
igihe yapfuye nari muto.
I mean, you have to be stupid to ignore everything that happened.
ugomba kuba umuswa kugira ngo wirengagize ibintu byose.
The guy was having a blast at some point.
yigeze
He had a good time, let's say.
yagize ibihe yaremaga ibihe byiza cyane. yagize ibihe
He
byiza.
had amazing concerts.
amakonseri atandukanye akomeye.
People were fainting.
hanyuma abantu bakitaba bakagwa.
By the way, I have seen people fainting in my concerts. Can you believe it?
nanjye byambere byarahabaye amakonseri.
I did.
abantu bakagwa hasi.
I'm serious.
ukuri.
And I was confused.
hanyuma ubwanjye bikanca.
I said, I'm sure this is not the Holy Spirit.
avuga ko yuko Yesu umwuka wera.
Must be something else.
ni ikindi kintu ntazi.
Everything was creating a confusion in my heart.
byose bikangwaho.
I saw people crying,
nkabona abantu barira.
crying with tears.
barira nta musozi.
I said, what do they see
ni ibiki bambonamo
that I don't see?
njyewe nibonamo ntabona.
But you see, this is what happens.
ariko ni gutya bigenda.
Our minds are programmed,
imitekerereze yacu ifite uburyo igengwa.
and it starts when we are young.
kandi bitangira tukiri bato.
We create passions in our hearts.
hanyuma tukagira ibyo dushaka kugera aho dukunda.
We think a certain way,
tugatekereza mu bijyanye n'ubwo buryo.
and somehow those things start controlling us.
hanyuma bigatangira bikadutegeka.
And something manifests in your body,
hanyuma bigatangira kwigaragaza mu mibiri yacu.
and you say, this is real.
hanyuma tukabibona nk'ibihari.
It's not real.
ntabwo bihari.
You know, America is almost falling apart right now.
amerika ubu ngubu biragana hari inyumuka.
There's so much confusion going on.
hari ukudasobanukirwa hirya no hino.
Some people don't even know who they are anymore.
abantu ntibakimenya abo ari bo.
But you know why?
muzi impamvu?
They lost the standard of truth.
basize standard z'ukuri.
When you lose truth,
utakaje ukuri,
you start making your own truth.
utangira kwemera ukuri.
So some people are so convinced about something,
hari abantu bazi ko bazi ibintu runaka
and it has nothing to do with the truth.
kandi bitajyanye n'ukuri
It's
runaka.
their truth.
ni ukuri kwabo bihimbiye.
But let me tell you something.
ariko reka mbabwire,
Truth is an absolute.
ukuri ntabwo guhinduka. ni kuri
Truth is a straight line.
ni ukuri ntabwo guhinduka.
And truth is a person.
kandi ukuri ni umuntu.
truth came here on earth at some point. And he proclaimed that it was truth. He said he was the way and the life. So how can you ignore all those things and live on assumptions? Let me talk to you about purpose. When I was young, I wanted to know where I was supposed to do at every step of my life. I used to think a lot.